Good afternoon. Welcome to balmy Chicago. As I said to a few of you, Chicago in March is just like April in Paris, so we're glad that you are all here. My name is Tom Lanctot. It's my privilege to be the Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Investment Services, and thank you for joining us for what we hope is the first of an annual gathering of Catholic investors to discuss investment excellence aligned with Catholic social teachings. We'll have a little more about Catholic Investment Services in our program in a minute, but right now I want to introduce somebody who's obviously well known to a lot of you based on his working the room, Monsignor Kenneth Velo. Monsignor worked, of course, with Cardinal Bernardin for many years. He was president of Catholic Extension. He's a senior executive at DePaul University, but I think if I can guess, I think the closest thing to his heart is his role as co-chair of the Big Shoulders Fund, which raises money for Chicago's inner city Catholic schools. And thanks to Cardinal Bernardin's foresight, Chicago, unlike a lot of big cities, still has a thriving Catholic school system, and I think that's due largely to the Big Shoulders Fund, and Monsignor embodies that great legacy. He also, I think, holds the world's record for presiding at the most weddings and funerals, at least certainly annually, and I think cumulatively too. I think if you I don't know if you ever heard the story about Harry Carey kept a diary with every drink he ever had so he could deduct it on his income tax. I think Monsignor we ought to keep a record of every wedding and funeral you've done. But and to show what a great guy he is, he's agreed to say Mass at 7 a.m. here tomorrow in the next room. Now, the timing of that seemed like a good idea at the time, and now I'm not sure it is. But he's great to join us, and it's hard to believe that he'll soon be celebrating you probably don't want me to say this, but soon be celebrating the 50th anniversary of his ordination. So you're all invited to come back, and we're going to have a big party and celebrate it. But anyway, I'm going to now ask Monsignor to add his welcome and bless our meal and our gathering. Please welcome Monsignor Kenneth Velo.
Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light. Thank you, Tom. I'm honored to be here with all of you, and I'm so pleased to bless the food you already ate. I look around and know that you're from foundations and investment and various works of the church in the United States and beyond, and to think of the collective good that everyone does here is amazing. The reach that you have and all that is done in the name of Christ. I was thinking, though, about the priest who was starting a capital campaign, and he was standing outside a church, and he saw this man who invested a lot of money, made a lot of money, and did well, and he said, "Today is the day I'm going to ask him," because he was in a capital campaign. The man came close to him, and he said, "Bill, you've done very well. I'd like you to make a major donation to the new church building." He said, "Father, my mother-in-law went into a nursing home, $3,000 a month. My son is out of work, $2,000 a month. My daughter has gone through a divorce, $2,500 a month. And if I can say no to them, I can say no to you." The 13th century saint, Francis of Assisi, said things to those who were sent out on mission. He said, "Preach the gospel. Use words if you must." He said, "Do what is necessary. Then you'll be doing what is possible, and soon you'll be doing what is impossible." And finally, he said, "In the end, all you'll have left is what you've given away." Today, as we gather for this symposium, we understand that it's the gospel that we preach by what we do not by what we say. At times, we really don't know which way to turn. We look at what we have to do. Sometimes, especially in the world we live in, we see miracles. And finally, we know that for each of us, in the end, all that we'll have left is what we've given away, the good that we've done, the trail of good that we leave behind us. And so we ask God's blessing on all who are gathered here on these 2 days. And today in Chicago and in many parts of the country where you have come from, there are people who are hungry. May those who are hungry have bread, and may we who have bread always hunger for justice and peace. Amen.